This is Shanti from Shanti TV. So today's video is going to be very different than my usual bag reviews. And I thought now would be a good time to talk about why I quit YouTube and what has helped me or encouraged me to come back to YouTube. I think there are probably several of you out there who used to do YouTube. I know a lot of my OG friends from back in the day no longer do YouTube for various reasons, and honestly, they may not even want to come back to YouTube. But for those of you that might be thinking about coming back, but have some reservations about coming back, I just want to talk about what has helped me come back to YouTube. So let's start with why I originally quit YouTube. So the reason why I originally quit YouTube was in 2015, my father had passed away. I had just recently come back off of an epic 40th birthday Europe trip that I had taken. And little did I know that when I came back that my father would pass away. You know, it's not like my dad spent a long time in the hospital suffering. So he, you know, became ill, and we took him to the emergency room, and from the emergency room they took him in to the hospital, and from the hospital they decided that he needed like quadruple bypass surgery. And even prior to being able to get into that surgery, his heart actually stopped. They resuscitated him. He came back, and then they put him through the surgery, and he just never could come back out of that surgery, and he ended up passing away. So we lost him in the matter of several days, max 3 days, and that was a very, very difficult time for me for so many reasons. I think losing a parent makes you feel somewhat like an orphan, and it was very, very hard for me to carry on with my life, honestly. It was hard for me to get out of bed. It was hard for me to eat. You know, I still, every day, I think about my dad. But I know that he's with me in spirit. So that was a major time in my life where I had an opportunity to step back and really think about life, how short it is, and think about pursuing all of the things that I want to pursue in my life, and not to hold back on some of the things that I wanted to do. And so that kind of kick-started a different philosophy that I took on in my life. I didn't want to continue down the path that I had been going. I knew that there were big changes that I need to make after that event, and some of those changes were not going to be very simple. But nevertheless, it was something that I needed to do. So I started a brand new journey in 2015. So I started down that journey, and I, you know, from a work perspective, I continued to pursue all the different things that I wanted to pursue. So I was constantly looking to get ahead, looking to climb the ladder. If it was within a corporate ladder, I knew actually that it was never going to be within a corporate ladder, because I always knew that I wanted to own my own business. So I knew that, and I just kept telling myself and kept visualizing that I would one day own my own business and pursue that as well, because that was really what I had always wanted to do. One of the hard decisions that I made was to decide to come out of a 21-year relationship that I had that was no longer healthy for me. So that was a very, very difficult decision that I had to make, but I knew that it was the right decision for me. It took about 10 years to actually make that decision. I did not make it lightly. It was, I went through years of counseling. I went through years of heartache. I went through years of thinking about if this was the right thing to do. It was not taken lightly, because separating from a relationship that is 21 years long is something that is very, very difficult to do. I didn't want a broken family. Even though I didn't want a broken family, I knew that I couldn't continue down the path that I was continuing. And I knew I needed to make some changes. And so that's what I did. And again, like I said, that was a 10-year journey for me. At that point, it was time for me to step away from YouTube. So that is why I quit YouTube. Not because I wanted to. I've always loved the platform. But at that time, it just wasn't the right time. I had to make lifestyle changes in terms of my health. I had to make lifestyle changes in terms of where I worked. I switched jobs. There's Louie. Hi, Louie. He's not supposed to be on the bed. I switched jobs. I got myself into a better position. In doing that, I was able to increase my salary of like $40,000. The other thing that ended up happening is the partner that I split from of 21 years ended up passing away as well, which was extremely devastating. It's devastating now to even think about it. It's like losing a best friend. I mean, even when you split up with someone that you've been together with so long, just because you split up doesn't mean you stop loving them or stop caring about them. But, yeah, he passed away. And again, that was a huge impact in my life to really, it's okay, Louie, to really, oh, Louie, to really think about what I was doing in my life. And it was important to continue to pursue the things that I felt I wanted to do in my life before anything happened to me. So, and I know that might be a morbid way of looking at things, but because death is so real to me now that I am at this age, it's not something that I ever had to deal with when I was young. It's just really important to live your life every day and love the people that are around you, and make sure that you're with the right people, and make sure that the people that are around you are the right people. So anyway, I started surrounding myself with the right people. So in 2018, I got married, and that event and all the things that came after that just snowballed into the life that I had always wanted to pursue. And, but it took for me to make some very hard decisions for me to even be able to do that. So what did it take? It took courage. It took tenacity. It took confidence. And it took all those things for me to start pursuing those things. And that's what I did. And when you put your time and effort into building yourself up and encouraging yourself, because guess what? Nobody's going to encourage you. You might get it sometimes, but you have to be your own cheerleader. So I'm back on YouTube now because I found the courage to come back. It's not easy to come back to YouTube. You know, I had been doing videos pretty consistently for many years, and I had gotten used to my setup. I got used to filming and editing and being in the right spot, making sure the light was right and all those things. And it felt so overwhelming to try and restart that whole process again. And I thought, gosh, I really want to do it, but I don't even know where to start. And so I had to get over that. I had to say, okay, well, I bought a camera back in the day and I paid good money for it. I probably paid over $1,000 for this camera. It's not worth that much now, but that's the camera that I'm using right now. So you got to start somewhere. I had moved twice before I even started filming. So I had to like find some of the stuff that I was even filming with, like my tripod and things like that. So I ended up finding those things and just putting things back together and seeing what I could do. I didn't even have Final Cut anymore. I used to edit on Final Cut. I didn't even have that anymore. So I had to figure that out. I had to start editing on iMovie. But again, and you can make all kinds of excuses for not starting and not trying and not doing. But then are you really accomplishing what you want to do? So I had to get rid of all of those things that I felt were obstacles, and I just used what I had. The other thing that I started this past year is my own business. So I was able to, since 2015, really change the course of my life and my philosophy of how I live my life because of that one event. But it takes a lot of courage. You know, getting back on YouTube, YouTube has changed. You know, back in the day, I was monetized. I'm not monetized now at all. There's so many more people on YouTube now. YouTube is flooded, but here's the deal. I still love YouTube. I love what it represents. I love being a content creator. I always have. And I hope that you guys like what I put out there. And if you do, I'll keep doing it. If you don't, then I don't know. Maybe I'll go find something else creative to do. So for those of you who are thinking about coming back to YouTube, don't let those obstacles that you have kind of get in the way. Oh, I don't have the right equipment. Oh, I can't remember how to edit. Oh, it's like riding a bicycle. So it took me a little bit to like get everything kind of back together and like try to go through the process. And I'm telling you, it was not easy. It was really hard. So went through the process, and then I slowly started remembering. I was like, okay, I didn't forget everything. And I slowly started remembering all the little tricks that I used to do while editing, and it's all now coming back. And now my creative juices are flowing now, right? So courage, tenacity, continue to like do what you want to do. It's like exercise. So that was the other thing that I changed. I started exercising consistently for the last several years, and that has completely changed my life. And to be honest with you, the lesson that it taught me is it's not about the small term. It's about the long game. It's the long game. That's what you want to do. Making small changes adds up over time. Part of my biggest issue was I was always a perfectionist, so I wanted everything to be perfect. And if it wasn't perfect, then I didn't want to do it. It's not the right attitude to have. You have to just make small changes. And small changes add up to big changes every day. And then you start seeing results. And that's what exercise has taught me. It wasn't easy. It was very difficult to start in the beginning. But again, it was like slow changes that you make. So if you want to start this YouTube channel, you need to make those slow changes. You need to build your confidence. Don't look for confidence building outside of yourself because you're not necessarily going to find it. You have to have confidence in yourself and you have to believe in yourself. And if you get kicked down, pick yourself right back up and continue. And that's all you can do. So as long as you're doing the best that you can do, that is really all that you can do. So that's how I came back to YouTube. The biggest thing now is trying to figure out what kind of videos to make, because there's so many things that I would like to talk about. You know, I don't always just like to talk about bags or fashion. So this channel is going to be an interesting one. I'm glad you guys are joining me. For those who have known me for so long, thank you so much for continuing to watch me. And for those of you who have no clue who I am, thanks for watching. I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe and hit the like button. That's Louie, by the way. If you want to return back to YouTube, do it. Do it. This is your sign to do it. Start. Go get the camera. Go start recording. I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you for stopping by. Ciao.